Hi, Carlo. Can I start with a bit of injury news, please? Any updates on Michael Keane?
Uh, now the update is that all the players are available apart from Gabamen and Doucouré. The others are all good.
You've always targeted Europe this season, I understand. Now, winning your game in hand, though, takes you to within 3 points of the top four. How strong is your belief, and maybe the belief within the club, that you could even still qualify for the Champions League now with the games left?
Well, we are not talking about this. I think what we are talking is that we have 6 games to play, and we have to try to do our best, more point possible, and try and see in which position we are at the end of the season. We are still in the fight that is really good for us, really important. We are in a good momentum. We had still all the player available, and so this is a good sign. And I think that the victory against Arsenal gave us at least more motivation, and I hope that we are able to get the result against Aston Villa.
As you say, we're quite close to the end of the season. Has there been any further talks within the club over new contracts for James or Seamus Coleman? Has anything moved on since we last spoke?
This moment we are not talking about this. We know that there are some positions that we have to discuss, but I think our technical director Marcel Brandt is involved in this, and he is going to talk in the next few weeks with the players directly.
Is that the same with Alan? He said he wants to stay beyond the end of his contract. Will keeping him be a priority for you and the club?
Who?
Alan.
Alan, he has 3 years contract, and so we are not talking about this. Of course, if we are really satisfied for his first year at the club, and his contract is long, and it's good to know that he would like to stay longer.
There's a social media boycott this weekend, which has been widely discussed. Are you as confident as some of the other Premier League managers that it can make a difference and bring about some change?
I think it's an important campaign because we have these 2 big problems. One is racism, the other one is online abuse, and we would like that the companies, the social media companies, take a strong action to try to cut this problem, because it is a big problem, and I hope that this campaign can help us to cut this abuse.
How has social media changed the way you've managed specifically? Is it something that players 10 years ago, 15 years ago didn't really have to deal with, and yet online abuse in the modern era can affect a player's confidence and obviously their performance as well? How has it changed the way you manage them?
But I think that I have to say that social media changed the relationship between peoples. That they changed the relationship between father and son, changed the relationship between friends, and of course affect the relationship between managers and players. I try and at the dressing room, and to try to avoid to stay on the phone, because I think that personal relationship is more important.
Thank you very much indeed.
Thanks, Aidan. We will go to Stephen next from PLP.
Hi there, Carlo. Do you feel that football can lead on this issue in terms of what happens in the wider community with social media? Is football a powerful enough tool to make a difference, do you think?
I'm sure that football, and everyone is involved in football, has a social responsibility. So because we are followed by a huge amount of people, of fans, of kids, and so we have to really to be focused there, that we have a social responsibility, and our image is really important to show, I think, a good image. And for this reason, I think that this campaign where all the world of football is involved is really important, because we can push more on social media company to try to put in there some strong rules to avoid this kind of situations.
I spoke to Alan yesterday, Carlo, and he talked about how the win against Arsenal last week had given everybody a lift, a little bit more confidence about qualifying for Europe at the end of the season. Have you seen that in training this week? Have you seen that enhanced positivity?
Yeah, also because we didn't have good result in the last few games, and so the victory, the fact that we were back to win a game in the Premier League was really important for our mentality and for our motivation. I agree with this, but you never know, because every game is unpredictable. You can see maybe a good attitude of the player during the training, and maybe the game will be completely different. You never know. We have to be strong, to be focused, and to do our best, because every game now, at least, is vital for everyone.
So just to ask you about Aston Villa,
Aston Villa is a good team. They started really well the season, showing a good football, showing fantastic player. I think that, and everyone knows, they were affected from the absence of his best player. Grealish is a fantastic player, and of course, when Aston Villa is not able to use Grealish at the best, they lose power, but they are still a good team, and they are still involved in the competition.
Thanks, Stephen. We'll go to Alistair from the BBC, please.
Hi, Carlo.
Hi.
I just wondered, when it comes to social media abuse, can you think of any examples where it has shocked you with regards to what you've seen or what your players have seen?
Can you think of any specific examples where you've seen social media abuse and that has shocked you?
Well, listen, if you have a look of the social media, you can find everywhere abuse, insult, and this and that. Also because most of the people are covered by the anonymous name. This is not tolerable. I think that the social media company has to take action on this. You cannot have anonymous people that can talk and can insult you.
And just in your talk at the University of Liverpool last night, you said you like Everton because it's a club that likes to invest. I just wondered, this summer, have you been given any assurances of the investment on players based on the pandemic, and is it dependent on qualifying for Europe?
No, I said it is a club that has a clear project. Of course, in this clear project, you need to invest because you want to improve, you want to be better in the future. We didn't talk for the next season at least, but we are going to talk in the next few weeks to try to improve the squad and to be better the next season. This is the idea that we have and that everyone in the club has, to be better. I think that this season, I don't know how we are going to finish, but at least until now we have improved a lot compared to last season. We have better position on the table. We have better knowledge. We were more competitive compared the last season, so the improvement was there. I think that we can step up quickly if we have a good position in Europe for the next season, but also we can step up, put in place a good program for the next season.
Thank you.
Thanks, Alistair. James from TalkSport, please.
Carlo, it's going to be Richarlison's, if he plays, 100th Premier League appearance tomorrow for Everton. Do you still feel like the best is still to come from Richarlison?
I think the decision of Richarlison was not at his top. He was not so consistent for the quality that he has, but he's still a fantastic player, a fantastic striker. We have to consider that he is also young, and it is acceptable that maybe this season was not at his best. I think he had a good period. But he has a possibility to score more goals for the quality that he has, for sure.
In terms of Dominic Calvert-Lewin and goals, he's just scored 3 in his last 16 Premier League games. Do you get the impression that he's frustrated that he's not able to back up the brilliant form he had at the start of this season?
I think that the style of play changed, and so he was affected, and also the striker were affected. It's true that we didn't create a lot of chances apart the last game where we were much better. I think for me it doesn't matter that in the last 6 games he scored only 3 goals. For me it's important the teamwork that he's able to do and to be focused there, and the goals come.
It felt like a really important night for Jordan Pickford against Arsenal, a really important save at the end, but he seemed to be really calm. Is that something that you've noticed, and what do you put that down to? He seems to be really composed.
Yeah, he's really composed. He's comfortable in the goal. I think that he came back in good mental and physical condition after the injury that he had.
Thanks, James. We'll go to Ian Kennedy, Radio Merseyside, please.
Hi, Carlo. Luca Dean was saying, I think this week, about the home form and how perhaps you need to be a bit braver and more ambitious in possession when you're at home. I just wonder whether that's something that can be coached, or is it very much a kind of an instinctive thing for each individual player?
Yeah, in a few words, I think we need to have more balance because when we want to propose more attacking football, we need to have balance to avoid counter-attack, to avoid opportunities from the opponent team. This is in a few words, more ambition, totally agreed, and more focus on the balance of the team.
And just on Seamus Coleman, you mentioned him earlier. I think you were saying this week that he's got a kind of a forever contract at Everton. I just wonder, what's it like to be a manager of a player like Seamus Coleman? Because he strikes us as being a kind of a manager's dream as a professional.
Seamus Coleman is the perfect example of how has to be a player. A player has to be like Seamus Coleman, focus in training, how can I say, no complain when he's not playing, also always focus on the performance of the team, always focus on the behavior of the teammates. Is a perfect example how has to be a captain first, and second, a player.
And does he compare to other players that you've coached in the past in that regard at other clubs?
Yes, all the captains that I had, they were fantastic captain and good example. I can say Paolo Maldini, I can say Sergio Ramos, I can say Casillas, I can say John Terry. Here I can say Thiago Silva at Paris Saint-Germain. This kind of players. They are really the luck of managers.
Thanks, Ian. Phil Medlicott from PA, please.
Hello. I was going to ask, you've also still got to play Villa away this season as well. I don't think there's any date yet for that. Is that right?
That's right.
I got that wrong. I just wondered if we've got any kind of update on that.
No, not yet.
Yeah, just still TBC.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Cheers.
Louis Restrepo, please.
That's just a question.
Hello,
Aston
Carlo.
Villa away game. Not being
Hola.
Hola.
How are you? Everything okay?
Yes, fine, thank you.
I'd like to ask you about Mina. How is the real level of Jerry at the moment? Because against Arsenal, he was in the bench, he comes in and out. How is his performance level at the moment?
He's good. He came back from an injury, and so he didn't play against Arsenal for the That reason because he trained before the game against Arsenal only 2 days with the team. He's back, he's in a good condition and ready to play.
Okay, perfect. And talking about the James Rodriguez possible contract extension, have you spoke to him about him? He told him about his feelings in Everton. He likes to carry on, maybe to get in touch with that extension.
We didn't talk about the extension. I'm not involved with this, but his contract is quite clear. He has 2 years plus 1 option, and so I think we have time to talk about this because he has another year of contract and plus an option, and so I think that we don't need to talk now about this. Maybe in the next few months we can talk about this.
He has told you that he's already adapted to living in Liverpool. He's already adapted to the English weather and the English culture.
No, we didn't talk about this because I think he's happy here.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thanks, Louis. We'll just take one more in the open section from Herman, please.
Hi, Carlo. I wonder about the situation to Joshua King. He has not played very much. How do you see his performance in training and his situation?
In the last few weeks, he had a small problem on his back, and so he was not available to train properly. He was back today after 2 days off, but his condition is quite good. He didn't have a possibility to play a lot for my technical decision because there we have a lot of option. He played some part of the game and good, I have to say, but in training he is absolutely okay, really serious and really professional.
What can you say about his possibility to stay at Everton to the next season?
I think at the end of the season we are going to talk about this, if he can stay, if he can have a new contract with us or not. We have to take a decision at the end of the season.